You're just seconds away from an all-new season of Studio 5, and this new season brings us a new home. We've shared some of the construction on social media, and we are just about ready to reveal the finished product. You know, there is a lesson in this journey. The completed work always looks better than the construction, and we are all a work in progress, going through building up, tearing down, and piecing together to create a masterpiece. The stories and guests in today's show are living examples of that lesson, and this show starts now. Welcome to Studio 5. Grab a cup of joe and take a seat with us in our new home. NAF Downs is here to show us how to add fun to the schedule. We're sharing a deeply personal film of a Korean family adjusting to life in a small Arkansas town in the 80s. And we're celebrating Black History Month with a film that has mercy at its heart. But first, let's jumpstart the first countdown of our all-new season of uplifting entertainment news. At number 5.
Today, we honor our 3 captains for their actions and impact in a time of uncertainty and need.
Poet Amanda Gorman is among the memorable moments off the field at this year's Super Bowl.
But in a year when people's needs towered over resources and voices for change were being silenced, this man stood up and stood out at the forefront of both social activism and philanthropy, impacting lives in a way that would have made Walter Payton oh so proud.
Along with Russell Wilson being honored with the Man of the Year award.
Dad, I can remember you telling me in the car one day, son, love changes things. Well, Dad, you were right. I wish you were here to tell the world that in the toughest of times.
At number 4.
There's a chapel in Kansas, standing on the exact center of the lower 48.
Bruce Springsteen's Super Bowl commercial for Jeep is being called a prayer for unity.
It's no secret. The middle has been a hard place to get to lately. Between red and blue, between servant and citizen.
She's a popular Christian voice who describes herself as an author, speaker, podcaster, and loud laugher. And now NAF Downs is turning her podcast into a book we could all use as we struggle to find some common ground in a divided world. It's called That Sounds Fun: The Joys of Being an Amateur, the Power of Falling in Love, and Why You Need a Hobby.
If I'm going to be known for one thing on this planet, I kind of like being known for fun. Here's the thing. I lived my whole life not realizing other people don't think about fun as much as I do. Once the podcast launched, aptly titled That Sounds Fun, I started asking people what sounds fun to them, and my eyes were opened. See, we tend to prioritize other things, the responsible things, the sensible things. We undervalue and downplay the power of fun.
I noticed that you say that sounds fun and you don't say that sounds like fun.
I have never thought about that until you just said that. I love that. That's really funny. Now you're gonna make me like go journal about it after this. Even when it's hard, and even when you don't get what you want, and even when you're disappointed, finding fun changes things.
After 2020 and the way we have begun 2021, why a book on fun right now? How timely do you think this is?
I think a lot of times we don't prioritize fun. In fact, we don't think we have time for it. There's too much on the news. There's too much in our lives, our to-do list, our bank account. There's just too much. And so we go, I can't have fun right now. But what I will tell you is when you think about your other spiritual disciplines, when you think about rest, Sabbath, when you think about tithing, it is going, I know I only have 7 days, but I need to give some of it back to the Lord because of what it does in me too. And while fun is not a spiritual discipline in the Bible, I will say to you, I think when you set aside time to do something that reminds you of who you used to be, that connects you with a simpler time of your own life, it really does connect you with God. Fun is a medicine for a sickness we all have. And it's not just for people with my personality type, and it doesn't look the same for everyone. There isn't one certain way to have fun. Your fun is not less fun than someone else's fun. And so I think a lot of times we think fun has to be big and it's expensive. Mm-hmm. And what I have learned and what I wrote about in the book a couple of times is this feeling of like, what if fun is in your kitchen or in a conversation or on a bike? Just something near and dear to you can be really fun. It doesn't have to be big.
When did you know that your podcast on fun should be a book?
At the end of every podcast, I ask people, tell me what sounds fun to you. It's how we end the show. Mm-hmm. And what started happening is people would come up to me and introduce themselves, but honestly, almost before they'd say their name, they would say, Annie, I want to tell you what I do for fun. And so all of a sudden I went, oh, there's more to this. Searching for fun doesn't mean you're not responsible. And valuing fun doesn't mean you're not grown up. It just means that you realize there is something we've lost and you're willing to go look for it.
Another thing that I love that you share, and I must admit I'm guilty of not having one, is the importance of having a hobby.
We need to find you a hobby, because what hobbies do, and this is why it mattered to me so much that we even said in the subtitle of the book, it's the joys of being an amateur, the power of falling in love, and why you need a hobby. Mm-hmm. Because hobbies make space. Hobbies get you off your phone. Scrolling is not a hobby. I'm sorry to be the one to tell everyone that. We need to do things that don't make us money. And we need to do things that we don't have to be good at. We need to invite ourselves and the people we love to be new at something, to mess up at something. So if you're terrible at painting, great. Give it a go.
What's your prayer for the book?
Do you know what I love? I'm going to answer you like it's just you and me drinking coffee somewhere.
I love it.
I love writing books that are surprise people about Jesus and that don't feel or look necessarily like a Christian book. Because when they think they're talking about fun and then they're crying because I'm talking about my grandmother and it makes them miss their grandmother, Jesus can do something right there. He can do something right there. And so that's my hope for this book is that it's sneaky Jesus. I hope it's sneaky Jesus on people. So join me on the journey to search for what we've all been trying to find, to discover or maybe rediscover something that makes you stop and say, oh, that sounds fun.
And Annie's book is available right now. Be sure to add it to your schedule and make some room for fun. Still ahead.
If you're here with us for the first time, please stand. What a beautiful family.
A new film with 10 Critics' Choice Award nominations, a Golden Globe nomination, and lots of Oscar buzz. How does it feel to be the breakout star of this film? Manetti's cast, writer, and director are all in Studio 5 next.
It feels amazing.
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
At number 3.
Yo, I am Michael Jr. It is funny how life works. Gang bang.
Michael Jr. is cooking up something new in quarantine. We're living in some interesting times. How are you coping in isolation with family in this day and age, Dad?
It is great. I actually really enjoy being around my kids. Sit yourself down.
The comedian is now an author with his new book, Funny How Life Works, being released in a few weeks. In his review of Michael's book, John Maxwell says the funny stories reveal important truths you and I can absorb and apply to make our lives better and to improve the lives of everyone around us.
People need to know how awesome God's word is right now in a practical way and in an entertaining way.
At number 2.
You're a good, good father. It's who you are.
The worship leader and recording artist who gave us Good, Good Father has a new music project. So this album was in the making for 2 years?
Love mercy, walk humbly with you, God.
That's the title track from Pat Barrett's project called Act Justly, Love Mercy, Walk Humbly, being released at the end of this month.
There were moments in those 2 years where you're like, why can't this be done yet? And then now I'm so happy for the songs that, happened actually near the end. I'm really grateful for that.
Writer and director Lee Isaac Chung's 4th feature film is his most personal, loosely based on his life. The premise, a Korean-American family moves to an Arkansas farm in their search of the American dream. Here's your Studio 5 first look at Manetti, as we also chat with Isaac and his cast.
David, look! They're wheels! Wheels? 여기 대체 어디야?
집이지?
새로 시작한다고 그랬잖아.
What a wonderful day to be in the house of the Lord. If you're here with us for the first time, please stand. What a beautiful family.
How does it feel to be the breakout star of this film?
It feels amazing.
How's your daddy like that new farm? He growing things good, doing things right?
Yes.
미국 애들은 할머니랑 같이 방 쓰는 거 싫어한다던데.
How did you relate to her? Do you know this woman?
No. Boy, pretty boy.
I'm not pretty. I'm good looking.
She's very spontaneous, like me. So, well, we built up that character, I think, together. And of course, Isaac said later, after we finished the film, his grandmother is not like me at all.
I don't like Grandma.
쟤는 안 그래요. 한국애니까.
Grandma smells like Korea.
야, 뭐라고? Grandma smell?
Stephen, how personal was this story for you? Did you see your family in this film?
While all the parameters aren't necessarily exactly the same, I feel the same convictions and the same arguments in the same ways that we miss each other, the same ways that we do communicate and miscommunicate love. And so, yeah, I definitely saw those things.
우리 여기 있다가 망할 거야. 애들을 위해서라도 한 번 더 생각해 볼 수 있잖아.
애들도 한 번쯤 아빠가 뭔가 해내는 거 봐야 될 거 아니야.
How emotional was the journey in bringing it to life?
That was always the thing that was the hardest with this project, was trying to keep my emotions in check, because obviously it's so personal. And on set, I don't want to be, trying to direct and breaking out into tears all the time. That just wouldn't work. I processed a lot as I was working on this film and kept a lot to myself. And I just find myself many times as I think about it and as I watch it and consider like what Stephen did and Alan did to help make this project. My heart is full. That's all I could say about it.
Stephen, how important do you think it is that we all get to see this?
The thing that resonates for me the most is this feeling of connection. Right now, we are all kind of living an immigrant existence in isolation and in exile. And I think we all feel alone right now. And for this film, which I think we were seeking to connect, I hope it does that. I hope people feel that feeling.
We need to find water somewhere. If that soil ain't wet, we're gonna lose a crop.
The faith that united these families who came from different places and ended up, here where they are in the film, how pivotal was that faith? How necessary was that for them, you think?
The faith was very necessary when it comes to seeing each other clearly, or I felt like that was something in my own family. when it's a faith that causes you to humble yourself in a way and to love others and to embrace each other, those are the things that I hold on to in my childhood when it comes to that journey of faith. When it's faith to conquer the land or things like that, that can disappoint. But it's really, there's a deeper thing that goes on when it's about us, like the communion of people.
결혼하면서 했던 말 기억나? 미국에 가서 서로를 구해주자고 했던 거.
기억해.
Yuri Han, there's a lot of award buzz surrounding this film and a lot of high praise. Why do you think people have embraced it so?
I think this film is a story that can resonate with a lot of people. Everyone carries with them memories of their childhood, and I think this film provides an opportunity for them to reflect on those memories.
엄마, 이런 총구석까지 와서 그렇게 말씀 안 하셔도 돼요.
아니 여기서 왜 또 총구석이 나와?
총구석에 사니까 얘가 배우는 게 없어서 버르장머리가 없잖아.
You know, it's a film that means a lot to me, and if it can meet people in their lives to reconnect with people at their home and with their families, I think a lot of us are missing our families right now. So if it could speak into that, I'd love that.
And you can begin watching Manetti this Friday on multiple platforms. The film distribution company A24 has even launched an A24 screening room where you can watch the film. Right now, it is time to say it in pictures. Here's a quick look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. These are images from The Chosen, the first multi-season series about the life of Jesus. And you can now find it weekly on the lineup of the Trinity Broadcasting Network, TBN. The 8 episodes of the first season are airing right now, taking viewers into the lives of those who walked alongside Jesus on earth. These photographs from the series are this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Coming up next.
This one from Harvey, you don't know what it is down here. When you're guilty from the moment you're born.
Meet the stars of Just Mercy.
The film is based on my book, Just Mercy, which explores this tremendous explosion in the prison population in America.
Plus the man behind the book and the real-life battles for freedom.
Why is you lawyer down here in Alabama taking these cases that ain't nobody gonna pay you for?
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
And welcome back to Studio 5. February is Black History Month, so this is a great opportunity to highlight a hero. Brian Stevenson is an American attorney, social justice activist, and the founder of the Equal Justice Initiative. And the beginnings of his story is shared in the film Just Mercy, with the stars Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx.
They convicted an innocent man. I was always taught to fight for the people who need the help the most.
How many of you all were with Walter that morning?
You ain't quitting, is you? No, sir.
The film is based on my book, Just Mercy, which explores this tremendous explosion in the prison population in America over the last half century. And I wrote the book because I wanted people to understand all of the consequences of having a prison population go from 300,000 to 2 million, and the problems of bias.
Michael, when you first hear of Bryan Stevenson's story or read the book, what were your initial thoughts? Did you know immediately this was something you wanted to do?
Yeah, when I first heard about Bryan, I was actually embarrassed that I didn't know that much about him in the first place. But as soon as I got educated on him, I immediately knew it was something that I needed to be involved with, trying to figure out, you know, how to get it done, what people will be involved, you know, how to develop it.
Having someone like Michael B. Jordan, who's up for the task of doing something like Just Mercy, introducing us to Bryan Stevenson, I think is the golden part of it.
Why are you doing this? Why am I a lawyer?
No. Why is you a lawyer down here in Alabama taking these cases that ain't nobody gonna pay you for?
When I was a teenager, my grandfather was murdered over a black and white TV. We kept waiting for someone to show up to help. And that's when I realized that outside my community, nobody cared.
The book, as well as the film, called Just Mercy. I can't think of mercy or grace without thinking of God. How would you describe your work in terms of how it relates to being a work of God?
Yeah, I think it's very shaped by that. I mean, I am a person of faith. I have always had to believe things I haven't seen and have chosen to live by grace. And so for me, it's consistent with the work I've been trying to do. You know, I was drawn to helping people who were accused and incarcerated and condemned because I believe that we are all more than the worst thing we've ever done.
Rich boy from Harvard, you don't know what it is down here when you're guilty from the moment you're born. And you can buddy up with these white folks and make them laugh and try to make them like you, whatever that is, and you say yes sir, no ma'am, but when it's your turn, they ain't got to have no fingerprints.
You've been at this now for more than 30 years. What sacrifice do you think, or what would you look back on your life and say is the greatest sacrifice you've had to make to do this?
You know, it's interesting. I don't really think of anything I've done as being a sacrifice. It's been hard, it's been challenging. You know, there are things, you know, that people looking from the outside might say I don't have, but I feel really privileged to do what I do. I feel like it's been a real gift.
Last lawyer said there ain't nothing left to do. There's always something that we can do. Whatever you did, your life is still meaningful.
The film is called Just Mercy. What's a memorable moment for both of you where mercy showed up?
That's a great question. I mean, my whole life has been a blessing, you know, honestly. God gives me mercy every day, you know? It's one of those things where it's you know, I can't pinpoint one. When looking the way we look, you know, the way we are living in this world, there's so many opportunities for things just to go wrong, you know, and there's a lot of things that's been going right, you know? And I'm being protected and, you know, walking our paths. I feel very, very blessed, and, you know, I feel like I'm always in a state of mercy.
You can watch Just Mercy on HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and other platforms. With that, we have made it to the final headline in this week's countdown of the best stories in uplifting entertainment. At number 1.
Things not working out at your job, call Jesus. Things not working out at your school, call Jesus.
The Call Jesus sisters, Danny and Dana Lockett, go from viral video.
If your boyfriend break up with you, call Jesus. Don't call Tyrone, call Jesus.
3 cameras. Hey, Mark.
To sitcom stars.
See ya. Oh, baby, just one more hug. You know I'm all about the hug life. Oh, just in time for the hug. Thank you.
In the new NBC series Kenan, premiering Tuesday on the network.
It's a family comedy. It's about, you know, kids and family coming together. When things happen with crazy families like this one, I think that everybody should watch it.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh, no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da!
coming.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
And welcome back to Studio 5. We are excited to share this week's soundtrack. It is courtesy of Ant Clemens and Justin Timberlake. Listen and hear why Better Days is what's playing in my ear.
Better days, better days. Better days are coming. I know you felt left out, slept on. Keep going, keep going. Shine bright, don't dim yours for no one. Keep going higher and higher and higher and higher.
On that musical note, we are almost out of time for this edition of Studio 5. So let's take just a moment to look ahead to next week's rundown.
Sammy!
I'm okay, it's fine.
It's the true story of a lifelong outdoors adventurer, surfer, and traveler who finds herself unrecognizable after a freak accident on a family vacation. Oscar-nominated actress Naomi Watts takes Studio 5 inside the making of Penguin Bloom.
Where did you first meet Samantha? On the page of the book, the script, or in person? Where did you first meet her?
The page of the book. That's where it started, yeah. And these powerful images just kind of leapt off the pages.
Hey, thanks for pushing me. And I'm sorry you have to live with this.
Are you kidding? I consider myself the luckiest man alive.
Oh, shut up.
It told us the story of how a family can recover.
Hope you'll join us for that and so much more come next week. Before we say goodbye today, we want to give the final word to our ambassador of fun. Here's Annie F. Downs.
You could go back in time and give advice to young Annie. What would you tell her?
Oh, gosh. I am so compassionate towards her. She, in every stage, she has done the best she knew to do. I would tell, like, elementary Annie, I would just kind of say to her, here's 3 things coming. 1, you're gonna really question whether God made you on purpose and why your body looks the way it does. Let me just settle that for you. Let me settle that you're on purpose and God knows and you are beautiful. I would tell her that so early and so quick. I tell her to like what she likes. I would say to her, there's nothing weird about the stuff you like. Don't put it away because someone told you it isn't cool. Keep going with what you love. And I would tell her to take more naps. Kids do not appreciate the amount of naps they get to take in their life.
Well, Annie, that is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on right back here and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.